Well, the war came and everything moved from 1940, of course. And the wartime was rough for Australians and the rest of the world, of course. I just feel that we got through that. We lost a lot of wonderful men. I don't think we knew anybody that owned a house in the 30s. And for a Saturday afternoon's entertainment, you could go round the houses in Albury and the front door mat. The key would be under the front door mat. You could go in and look to see if there was anything better or cheaper than what you were renting.
Oh, so you could just go and look in the houses and just see there's something that was better for the family?
Than what we had, more room or...
Okay, so Joy Morris is our guest for episode 4 of series 2 of the Back in My Day podcast. Joy was born in 1926 in Albury on the Murray River, and she recalls her life living through the Great Depression and World War II when her husband served in New Guinea. A polio outbreak limited her travel, and after his passing, she has really embraced travel, new experiences, and her passion for crosswords. So yeah, it's been another great chat. Hope you enjoy hearing about Joy's life on this episode. Thanks.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it. I just thought we'd start by asking a bit about where you were born and the early days.
Well, I was born in 1926, as you can read there.
Yeah.
So the Depression hadn't started until the 30s, but I definitely remember things before I even went to school.
Right.
Because I was born in Albury on the Murray River. My dad was a railway man and a very keen provider, fisherman, hunter, rabbits, and we ate all that sort of stuff because there was no money for it. You had to provide it yourself.
Yeah.
And we weren't the only ones because everybody was in the same boat.
Yeah.
In the early 30s, well, the war came, and everything moved from 1940, of course. And the wartime was rough for Australians and the rest of the world, of course. I just feel that we got through that. We lost a lot of wonderful men. My husband was in New Guinea. If it hadn't been for those men that went up and helped defend New Guinea, we would be... Who knows what it would be today,
Yeah, who knows, yeah.
But anyhow, we lived a comfortable life. We always had enough to eat. We went to a Catholic school. I was one of 5.
And you were the eldest?
I'm the eldest.
Yeah.
I went to, as I said, a Catholic school. I did the old intermediate. And a few months, maybe 6 months of commercial college. I could type a bit, and a bit of bookkeeping and a bit of shorthand. We don't have shorthand today, do we? I don't know that anybody...
Yeah, I think that's long gone now, is it, the shorthand?
Well, now everything's a machine, everything's a mobile or whatever. And we came to Sydney to live. I went to work in an accountant's office.
What was it like growing up in Albury? Because that's obviously in the country, isn't it?
On the Murray River. Albury, Wodonga is almost one town now. Wodonga's in Victoria over the border. I remember during the... what was the disease that children had? Well, you couldn't go into Albury. You couldn't go across the river for some reason. Polio. There was a polio epidemic.
Right.
We did have a car, which was unusual. It was a 1937 Chevrolet. And all the kids got car sick for some reason or other.
Right, okay.
Dad used to threaten to tow a billy can around our neck. Say, stop the car, I want to get out. But I think the family were good providers. We rented. We didn't own a house, of course. We didn't. I don't think we knew anybody that owned a house in the 30s. And for a Saturday afternoon's entertainment, you could go round to houses in Albury, and the front door mat, the key would be under the front door mat. You could go in and look to see if it was anything better or cheaper than what you were renting. Maybe we'd move.
So you could just go and look in the houses and just see there's something that was better for the family.
Than what we had, more room or...
Yeah, so no real estate agent showing you around. It was just go in, have a look.
Oh yes, the key was under the doormat.
Yeah, well,
yeah. But people were very honest. They really were. I don't ever remember we had a key to the front or back door to our house. Certainly, you just came and went. You didn't.
I've heard that before. People talking about back in those days that you didn't bother about the front doors open and people in and out.
We didn't have anything worth stealing anyhow. I don't think.
Yeah.
That was probably why.
Yeah. But fond memories of your time growing up in Albury as a child?
Yes, our grandparents lived with us.
Yeah.
Our grandfather was the gardener, my dad's father. He was always in the garden digging and doing and whatever. My mother took in sewing. She sewed beautifully, and she sewed a bed. But I think we had about 10 people in our house. Anyhow, we had a lot of people.
Do you think it was better then that you had all of your family together and you weren't distracted with phones? You'd all sort of talk and...
We didn't even have the phone, any kind of phone.
Yeah.
No phone, no plug-in phone or anything.
Right.
But
you'd actually sort of, enjoy each other's company and do stuff together and communicate.
No television, no phone. We used to listen to Dad and Dave on the radio. God knows, that was a long while ago too. But... well, on the whole, I met my husband, and then after a year or so we were engaged. And then
how old were you then when you met your husband?
I must have been 21 because I was engaged on my 21st birthday.
Right.
And I think I was married a bit after 22, and I had 2 children, and. We lost a daughter in 1963 with a cancer problem. And we went to America to live then. My husband had climbed the ladder a bit in his job. He was just a tradie, electrician, but he worked for the Electricity Commission. And then he went to work for a company called Email. And Email were Allied Industries. I forgot what the MAIL stand for, but they had a big company at Orange, I think, just over the mountains. And he was always up and down there to Orange, Email. And then they sent him to deal with Westinghouse, providing the licensing and the patents and things that to do with Westinghouse, because Westinghouse was an American company. So we were sent over there in 63.
What did you think when your husband first said, we're off to America? Was it exciting? Was it daunting?
Well, I don't think I'd ever been on a plane before or something. When we flew over to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh was the base, of course. And we were there for 3 years, and we had twin daughters while we were over there. With what do you call it, dual nationality, which they are now in their 50s.
Yeah.
And they finally gave it up just recently. I said, you never know. It's been useful for your business, what they've been in their field since. You don't have to queue up to get through the airport and so
straight
on,
through,
the dual nationality. But they're now true Aussies, but they've always been Aussies, of course,
Yeah.
But, and then we were asked to go back again in 76. And that was exciting because it was the anniversary of their 200th anniversary. And we knew people from the previous time that lived in a place called Valley Forge. And they did a reenactment of coming back from what they did when they went west. You know, the early settlers started on the east side, and they knew they had to go west to maybe do other things.
Yeah.
And they reenacted it coming back with the caravans and the horses, and some of them took 2 years to come back.
Oh.
They all came back to Valley Forge, and we happened to be there as guests.
So that was good to see that all
It was
happening.
exciting to see them all dressed in, you know, the clothing they would have worn in that time. It was a whole outdoor reenactment. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, dealing with Westinghouse throughout the world, we did have a lot of conferences in different places, in Hong Kong and Puerto Rico, and Canada and Vancouver, and with the little ones. When I was there the first 3 years, I was housebound, of course. You know, I didn't go very much. But the second time when we went, they were 8, so we had to have a housekeeper or somebody who would come in, and we would go for a week at a time. And that was exciting to see another part of the world. Me, who had never been on a plane before, you know.
Yeah. So you had fond memories of the time spent in America?
They were lovely people, very, very nice.
Yeah.
We lived in a Jewish neighbourhood, and they could not have been nicer.
Yeah.
You know, they were just, in fact, the first time we rented, and the company paid, of course, we were allowed a certain amount of money. But the second time we knew it was going to be longer, so we bought a house in the hills. Everybody goes to the hills, get out of the downtown atmosphere. But it was nice.
Did you say that was in the 70s that you lived there, that second time?
76.
Right.
But we went in 76, their anniversary of their independence.
Yeah.
That was I've had a good life, and we came back here, and we went to Korea to live. I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to live at Beecroft. My son said, "You go to Beecroft to live, Mum, and we'll see you at Easter and Christmas, maybe, and birthdays."
And that'll be it.
Because he had married a girl who was being so much older than the girls. He was married. So we came over Tom Ugly's Bridge and into the Shire, which we've enjoyed. I lost my husband 30 years ago now. No, I always say the year of the fires. In 94 he passed away.
So some time ago that he passed.
It is 30 years, isn't it? From 94 till 24? Yeah. 30 years. But I had him at home until the last day and a half of his life. The nurses from Calvary came to help a little bit, and what they could do. He had cancer everywhere, cigarette smoking, heart and cancer.
Right.
And he had to go to Calvary. And I said, I promised him he didn't have to go to Calvary. And the nurse said, "You'd think he's going to hospital." And he died in a day and a half. So I did what I helped. And I had a lot of family around.
Yeah, that's good.
And everybody helped.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. But we always had our family, our elderly family, at home when I was younger too. I was used to dealing with
Always having
people
family.
who needed help.
Yeah.
You know? And I worked too, of course, you know.
But what were those holidays like that you went on with friends? Did you go to some good places?
Pardon?
Those holidays that you went on with friends, did you go to some good places?
I went to England and Europe, part of Europe, Eastern Europe, France, Germany, whatever, for 8 weeks. And I often wonder how I did that with my friend Jan. She was a widow too. And she was a bit younger than me, but I managed to get my bags together and move things along. I was a good 10 years older than her at the time, But
it can be tough. It can be tough going on those trips for that long and dragging your bags around from place to place and lots of walking and.
well, we did. I think it was a week in one trip in a bus. Slept in a bus, bathroom in the bus, which was changed every morning. 2 men lived downstairs. One was the driver and one was the tour guide or whatever. We saw wonderful places, and I remember the little room we had for a bedroom had a bunk bed, and Jan could put her foot on the hand basin. It was a hand basin with water. We had to go somewhere else for a shower. And she'd flip herself over, but she couldn't sit up in bed because if she did, she hit the head on the
the roof was a bit too low.
Because we were upstairs in a double-decker bus and a twin bed.
Well, it sounds like it was an adventure then.
And we saw wonderful places. We saw, Morris dances and cheaper places. And we didn't go to fancy places, but what we saw was wonderful. Things and we did what was the big show they have in Edinburgh, the tattoo. I've seen the tattoo 3 times.
Oh wow! Yeah.
That was a been in London 3 times, England 3 times.
What did you think of England? That's where I'm from.
Cold.
Yeah, I think all Aussies say that.
They all say they were cold.
Yeah, too cold.
It's like that here. I don't know. It's because I'm getting older, but I have really felt this time. To me, there was no spring. It was still winter.
Yeah, they say that the weather seems to be changing. The season's changing a little bit.
There's definitely a change of season.
Could I finish with a few standard questions that we always ask at the end of the podcast?
Sure.
If you could go back and give advice to your 16-year-old self, what would it be?
Be kind to people. I always say that. And don't pretend you know everything. You can learn something new every day.
So much to learn, isn't there? If you want to.
Every day you can learn a new. Is the word etymologist? I'm a word person.
Yeah.
And I find if I don't know what a thing means, I must have 10 dictionaries. Taking up room in my little room like this, And I use them every day for some reason or other. I think, what does camera mean? Humera. That was something we eat. Humera. So they tell me it's pumpkin. I said, I don't think it's pumpkin. Tastes like pumpkin, but it's a bit sweeter. So I couldn't find it anywhere in any dictionary except a Scrabble dictionary. I found it in one of my Scrabble dictionaries. And it's a subtropical root vegetable.
Right.
And it's now what we call a sweet potato.
So what was it called before?
That's on our menu thing. It's called a K-U-M-U-R-A, kumura.
Right.
And everybody reckons it's pumpkin. It tastes like pumpkin, but it's a root vegetable. All pumpkins, no matter what they call them, they're all vines. Pumpkin is an outside bit, is a vine.
Yeah.
And there's a pumpkin. It's called a Jap. There are many pumpkins. Names for pumpkin. And I found that it means JAP is just another pumpkin.
No way.
Whoever christened it.
Yeah, that's why they called it that.
They called it Jap.
Wow. This is why you're so good at crosswords, all of this knowledge that you learn, these things you learn.
Well, I think it's a determination to find out why and how. But
being curious is so important for that. Yeah, people are curious.
Here I am. I'm really 100. I'm 98 this next month. I can't believe I'm not. Although
still learning.
I'm not. I can't believe I'm still there because I wish I was better. I wish I was better physically. Up until I was 94, 95. In the last 3 years, I've gone downhill past my use by date, I suppose, you know. But the point is that I've had such a life free of pain. I've never broken bones. The only operation was an appendectomy. I've never had an operation. No broken bones. I've only had 2 falls. One, I fell into my walker, and the other one, a couple of months ago, I just faded away and fell over backwards.
Oh, really?
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. But you're doing fantastically well for 98.
Well, I don't know. On the way out, that's for sure. But there are no miracles, I keep telling myself. There are no miracles.
So are you available for quiz nights? If I can come and grab you on certain nights to come and be in the quiz team? Sounds like you'd be very good at it.
Oh, I've got to go to the quiz team, yes. It's 10 o'clock, I've got to go. I try not to be such a... They think I'm a skate, but I don't hear very often, and I have to have it repeated. And when they repeat it, and they'll hear now the pronunciation isn't always exactly the same as it should be. Yeah. When you hear a word, the girl will ask, I heard one, which English princess was persecuted for something the dog did. And I said, no English princess would ever be persecuted. Read it again. So she read it again and still pronounced prosecuted as persecuted.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, that's because of her language. Yeah. So every now and again, I sound terrible that I say, no, the wrong pronunciation, you won't get the right answer.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I enjoy my little game of quiz. Yeah. And I'm leaving it because I reckon you've had enough.
Yeah, do you need to get to your quiz?
Pardon?
Is it you need to go to your quiz? Do you need to go to your quiz?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, thanks so much for being a guest on the podcast. It's been great to hear the stories.
You got rid of me that way.